Tim in the Netherlands writes, I do not have a dedicated listening room. Well, most people don't, so don't feel bad about that. And using my system in a living room environment, I'm struggling with speakers setup. Man, do I hear that so often. And okay, this is a shameless plug. One of the reasons I wrote the Audiophiles Guide is to help with this very problem. That book set of 10 books will get you through a lot of these problems. And of course, I can only answer one question a day on YouTube. So I'll do my best here for Tim. But for those of you who are struggling with setup, with figuring out how to make the most of it, check out the audiophilesguide.com. You can get the books on Amazon, and I think you'd find them valuable. All right, anyway. So Tim says, I own a pair of B&W 704-3s, which are small floor-standing speakers with two 5-inch woofers when set up for best tonal. When set up for best tonal balance, I find myself having the speakers fairly close to the rear wall. That creates the best bass output, but by doing so, I lose soundstage depth. Yep. Having the speakers further out into the room, I have better soundstage depth, but speakers do sound thin in the bass region. Is this a normal issue with smaller floor-standing speakers, or are there ways to improve both soundstage depth as well as tonal balance? Yeah, there's a couple of things you can do. First off, the closer we put them together, the better the mid-bass couples. So it is true that what he's doing, what Tim's doing, is pushing them closer to the rear wall. That uses the front wall. I always call it the rear wall. Sorry. The front wall, the one in front of you. By pushing them closer to that wall, you're going to reinforce the bottom end because the wall is helping out. But that also loses depth, as he notices. So there's a good combination of pulling them out, getting them set up, and then you can move them closer together, and that'll give better mid-bass coupling. And that'll help a little bit. But honestly, the best thing you could do, get a subwoofer. There's no way that you can, with these speakers, pull it out the appropriate distance to get that soundstage depth that you want, even by pulling them closer together. It's always going to be a compromise. You can get subs pretty cheap. I mean, even a cheap sub would help a great deal with this. And then you can place the sub, use the subwoofer crawl that I talk about all the time. We can add a sub, spend the money, get yourself a decent little sub. You can just get a single, a dual's better, but that's really what I would recommend. And I know sometimes it's hard, but look, you've got a living room, it's apparently small. Put the sub behind the couch. Find a place that isn't intrusive in your living room. Set the sub in there. There are wireless subs that you can buy today. Doesn't have to be elaborate. It will make such a difference that at one point, I think you are going to be thrilled. Okay? So, best I got. All right. Thanks for the question. Bye.